Hello YouTube. Basically tonight we're just going to be sealing this Stern Meteor backglass. It's not in the best of shape. You can see along here somebody's tried to remask some of the areas that have flaked off with a little bit of silver spray paint. Unfortunately, they didn't do a very good job in filling in that area. And you can see here, just from the swirl marks on here, that I guess it had tobacco or grease residue at one time, and somebody basically just kind of pushed it around with a little rubbing alcohol or Windex or something. And unfortunately, in doing that, they ended up lifting much of the paint. You can see it just kind of scrubbed right off. A little bit of it's dissolved. And we want to prevent that from happening ever again, no matter who's got this in the future. Make it a little easier to clean. Because these areas are opaque anyway, it doesn't really matter if there's a little bit of residue on there. It is far better just to seal it in, leave it alone, so it can't further flake off. So because it is flaking just a little bit right now, we're just going to give it a really quick coat. Really light coat just to tack everything down. And then we'll come back to it in about half an hour. So for this one, we're just going to give it again a really light coat, about 1.5 feet away even. Really thin coat here. So it's not your standard application. We just want to make sure that just gives it a really light tap coat for us to seal to later. And we'll come back in half an hour. Alright, so it's half an hour later, and I do the first real coat of Triple Thick. Some people say it's hard to get this in Canada. It is. Now, this is a Krylon product. It's available pretty easily in the States. You can get it from Marco Specialties. Works out to about $15 Canadian plus the shipping, which isn't cheap. You can get it at Michael's here in Canada. It's not a Krylon product. It's actually a half-size can. And it costs about the same. So if you're in a pinch, you can get it. You know, you will find it at Michael's. It is a, triple thick spray product. It says it right on a triple thick. But I haven't tried that one. So if anybody has tried that one already, let everybody know if it works or not. But otherwise, I just usually order in online. So this one you want to cover in basically a fairly even sweep, about 12 inches away. The nozzle on here is not like a regular spray paint can. So you do have to move fairly quickly. The first coat you can do side to side, the next coat you can do up and down, and that basically just makes sure that you get even coverage. You don't want to dwell on anything too long, because you don't want any spots that are going to be overexposed. So we'll just let this settle for another half an hour, and then we'll come back to it. All right, and we're now on to the very last coat. We want to apply this as evenly as we can, because this one's got to be the last one that seals everything in. This should be your nice, top, clear, and smooth, glossy coat. You don't want to drown it at this point. You just want to make sure it's even and fill in the remainder. So this one we're just going to change direction and make sure that we catch everything. And try to stay a good even foot away from the whole works. Again, you don't want to douse it. You shouldn't be using an entire can on a glass. You should be able to get through at least a couple. Just take a look for any areas I might have missed. One right here. Yeah, I think that ought to do it. So I'm going to leave this alone for 2 whole days to dry, and then peel off the masking and get it back in the game. Thanks for watching. Probably more pinball repair videos to come because there's always something going on. So, you know, as they say, like and subscribe, and I'll try to bring you some more broken things and some more fixed things as time goes on.